And welcome to this session specifically. My name is Winnie Kodi, and I am a Nuba woman from Sudan. And I'm happy to welcome you to this session today. This is not our official opening. We will have our official opening on the 17th. And so this session is just for us to introduce each other and get to know each other a little bit better before we begin the global school. And so that you're able to also know who your academic advisors are, who your other colleagues are from the different regions, and we're able to start to connect. And so before we start the session, I want to invite Isabel Cipriano, who will lead us in the invocation for today. Before we begin, Zamaya from Guatemala, and she's with FIMI as the coordinator of the administration area. And so I'm going to welcome Isabel. Please go ahead with the invocation.
Thank you.
And just before Isabel comes up, I think you saw the slides that have been shared by the communication team on the interpretation. We have English and Spanish. Please look to the bottom of your screen. There's a globe that has, which is the interpretation button. Please select the language that you're most comfortable in. If it's English or it's Spanish, you can see the globe at the bottom of your screen. It will be on the bottom right of your screen, where you'll get the interpretation. If you're facing any challenges with interpretation, please write on the chat and someone will be able to help you. And so, Isabel.
Thank you, Winnie. Thank you. Good morning, buenos días. Por favor.
Good morning. I want to ask everyone to get comfortable because we're going to do a small breathing exercise. Let's breathe in 3 times. And I can't see you, but I feel that you're there and that more are joining. Let us breathe in 3 times. Inhale and exhale 3 times. And the goal here is to nourish our spirit and to give harmony to our organs. Let's think about a favorite place we like to be in, one of our communities, near a river perhaps, and let us locate our thoughts and focus our thoughts on a beautiful place to have a positive breathing experience. Let us imagine that we are together physically and that we are able to give each other a strong embrace and that we're able to hug everyone who is here participating. In this place of comfort where you are now, you might want to close your eyes, you might want to keep them open, but keep your thoughts on that place that you have been thinking about. Today is a special day, and we want to express our gratefulness and meet this new day with joy. We're beginning this adventure of learning that we will be on together in the next stage of the Indigenous Women's Global Leadership School. With our thoughts today, we are giving honor and remembering our ancestors. We're remembering the women who have already passed to another dimension. And we're remembering that their leadership and their ideas opened roads for Indigenous women of the world to be able to raise our voices and to be able to continue defending our rights, to defend a dignified life for Indigenous women, something that we all need so much. Also, we are grateful for the elements of life, Father, Son, Mother Earth. Mother Earth is nourishing us, and thanks to her, we have a home and a place to rest. We want to remember the sacred wind. We could not breathe without her air. And if the day that we stop breathing is the day that we stop living, right? So we are grateful for the wind, and we're grateful for being able to wake up every day and to breathe and to open our eyes. We want to give thanks also to sacred water. Also, we could not exist without water. Without water, we could not also nourish Mother Earth. It's a fundamental element as well in our lives. We want to be grateful to the universe for blessing us, for preparing us in this time when Mother Earth is off balance, is experiencing much trouble, and we send energetic strength to the earth so that the earth can continue to emit its energies. And we are grateful for all the women who are working together to make a better day and to work for equality and collective action in our communities. We are grateful to everything that allows us to exist, plants, flowers, all of the sacred elements that we have. We are grateful because we are present here today with a great desire to continue learning, with a desire to continue living. And with this word of thanks, I want to also ask you to imagine one of your grandmothers from your community or from your family. Let us remember that grandmother. She may be gray haired, she may not be, but someone who's very wise. And we're imagining giving her a firm embrace and thanking her for everything that they have left for us. With this image, then, something that perhaps brings us joy, the remembering of a grandmother, I want to ask us to little by little open our eyes and to continue to breathe once again, to inhale and exhale, and to integrate ourselves into this meeting with energy. If you have some water near you, go ahead and drink it to remember the presence of our ancestors and our sacred elements. The sacred water allows us to be alive and to be present in this sacred space. Thank you to all of you for being here at this moment.
Thank you, Isabel, for that invocation. And just before we invite our welcoming remarks, would like to ask you to please put on your cameras so that we can see your beautiful faces and we're able to put faces to the names that we're seeing. So if you're able to please put on your cameras. If you're still having issues with the interpretation, there is some instruction that has been placed on chat. So if you're using your phone or an iPad, there's 3 dots where it says more. Click on that and then you'll see where to select your language. And then again, if you continue to face any issues, please also just put it on the chat and someone will be able to assist you. So welcome again, everyone. And just before we start, please remember that as you speak, put yourself on mute if you're not speaking, so that you don't interfere with the interpretation. But also when you're speaking, please speak a little slowly, so that, because we have interpreters in the room, so that they're able to hear everything you're saying and be able to interpret to the other language. And so we're going to continue with our program for today, and I would like to invite FIMI's Director Teresa Zapeta, who is a Maya Kiche Indigenous woman originally from Guatemala. She's the Executive Director of FIMI. She has worked as a government officer, occupying this position of Indigenous Women's Advocate, and has been responsible for Indigenous Women Program for Central America region at the UN Women. She has been actively directing the works of FIMI and is a strong pillar of guidance and leadership for all its work. Through her work in FIMI, she aims at strengthening networks with all organizations and allies to continue articulating in a sustainable manner, influencing together for the advancement of the human rights of all Indigenous women in the world. She has been linked to the struggle of Indigenous women for over 15 years and continues this space with conviction and vision. So I welcome Tere to officially open for us this session with your opening remarks. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Winnie. Muchísimas gracias. Muy buenos días.
Thank you, and good morning to each of you. Good afternoon to some of you, and good evening to some of you, because I know some of you are ending your day. In Guatemala and Central America, we're just beginning our day with that joy of the sunrise and the afternoon and of the evening. We give each other a welcome. Let's give each other a virtual embrace from wherever we are. And from this platform, perhaps we are, feeling a little distant because we're trying to connect virtually, but we're trying to put all of our human energies so that we can truly connect with one another. I'm very, very happy to begin this 10th edition of the Indigenous Women's Global Leadership School and the program on international advocacy skills and human rights. I am excited to begin this school because this is now the 10th edition of the school. We have been in operation for 10 years now, so you're the 10th group. And we're really happy because it's not easy to bring all of this together and to begin a training session, in a global training session like this one, where young women, some older women, with all of the diversity from our regions, from the Americas, from Asia, from the Pacific, from the Arctic even, are able to come together. I think I mentioned Africa, right? So from everywhere. So we are so happy to be able to meet each other, even though it's virtually. We're meeting each other from all over the world. And this space will allow us to make some kind of connection, will allow us to meet each other, to get to know each other. And we will learn that we are all Indigenous women connected to our communities and to our peoples. And we are connected regionally, or by our region or by our continent, but we're also connected around the world globally. And as you go through the various areas of content of our study, and as you're able to listen to the experiences of other sisters from other countries and other communities, you will be able to discover and to understand that we are all one. We have the same roots, even though we have different branches, and different branches allow us our own identity, our own languages, and our own ways of nourishing ourselves with food, different ways of communicating. We might have different ways of dressing, different colors, but we will understand that we are one, and we are going to listen to each other's stories. And that's the first value that I want to place before you as we begin this session. I want everyone to have an open mind and an open spirit to receive each other, to understand each other, to get to know each other reciprocally. And As we learn to recognize each other, we can be we can have greater strength for our advocacy, even with our local advocacy. Because as you receive more training and you do advocacy at the local level, you're going to be asking local governments and to your national governments for various things. For example, to eliminate violence against women and girls in Indigenous communities. You can talk about other examples. In Kenya, they're doing such and such. In Asia, in India, they have made great progress in this and that. Here is an example of Bolivia and Peru, how they have had some important steps ahead. So that's one of the first values also that I want to put before us as I welcome you to this 10th edition of the Indigenous Women's Global Leadership School. Another value is learning from each other. From FIMI, which is the International Indigenous Women's Forum, which you will learn a lot about in the next few months, we believe strongly in our own knowledge, and we understand that each of us are bearers, carriers of our experiences and ideas that we have been accumulating and learning in our lives, and we have been creating in our lives. So this is a global platform to be able to exchange this knowledge with each other and to have the humility to understand that I don't know everything and there's always something new to learn from my sisters and brothers. This is an important value as well. Likewise, even as I may have much to teach you and to share with you from what my ancestors have taught me and from what I have learned myself, this is complemented by academic learning and experiences of other cultures that aren't ours, but that we will learn about in the coming weeks and months. So I want to invite you to learn and to contribute. And when you have questions, don't hesitate to ask them. And when you have a comment, we want you to be able to make those comments. Of course, as our facilitators and presenters, they will guide us, but we also want to feel like it's easy to share. So you're going to have some time to share a little bit about the history of your community, something that you learned from your ancestors. So prepare to talk about those things and come with the idea that this is a window to the world where you can come and bring the experience of your community, of your ancestors, and your own experiences. So that's another value that I want to put on the table today, the value of learning, reciprocal learning, learning from each other. I also want to welcome you with the spirit of being a network, of connecting with each other and to meet each other in this way. Once we have met each other and recognized each other, we're going to see that we have an opportunity to form a network, to weave together. And each one of us, if we don't feel part of the world movement of Indigenous women yet, by the end of this cycle, you will feel connected from your communities with this whole global community of Indigenous women. You're going to feel connected with your region and with Indigenous women who are in other parts of the world so that we don't feel alone. This is an important part of seeing each other as a cloth, as a network. And when we go to international spaces, we know that I'm not just going as Teresa Zapeta myself, I'm going as part of a collective, and that I can weave together my work with women from my community and my country and region, but I can also connect with women internationally. This is another point of strength that I want to point out as I welcome you to the 10th edition of the program.
Lastly, I would like to invite you to make sure that we never lose respect. Let's talk about respect, not just that I treat you right and you treat me right, but respect to the process as well. And this comes with a responsibility. So I invite you to take this very much into account, because sometimes we forget the value of the opportunity that we're receiving today by being here today at this international rights scenario. It's an opportunity that our peoples, our leaderships have been winning this over the years. It's not something that just fell on our lap. Perhaps we're saying, oh, I didn't even think about doing this course, but somebody said, apply. I applied, and here I am. So it really wasn't hard for me. Since it wasn't hard for me, sometimes I don't value this that I have in my hands. But I want to invite you to recognize that before us, to be able to have an international program today where we can train and strengthen our leaderships, there were many fights before, many efforts made, and unfortunately, we've seen even deaths in our grandmothers, grandfathers, in their fights. And perhaps we're going to say, well, does that have anything to do with this? That happened centuries ago. Yes, it does, because we come from a history that has been weaving over centuries. So we need to honor that history. So I invite you to consider that a way to honor them is being here and responding with commitment and responsibility towards this opportunity that you are receiving. I talk to you about respect because if I recognize that fight, that effort from many women who are no longer with us, but opened up the path for us. They didn't have an opportunity to train the way you are training, going to a world-class training place. They didn't perhaps know how to read or write, but they opened up the path for us. And what I'm receiving today is the fruit of that labor from all those women. Then my first reaction has to be to honor all of that. How do I do that? Respecting the process, contributing, being a member that is responsible. If I'm given the opportunity to listen to all the other presenters, all the people who are going to be connected with me, reciprocity then is my commitment, is to be there, is to be present, to be on time, to do all of the activities that I'm asked to do, to read, to contribute, to bring the documents, to be active, to inform the group if I'm not going to be able to be there, if I run into any difficulties. And that's what I invite you to do, to have my work plan, my advocacy plan, one of the products that we have to turn in, where we're going to put into practice everything that we learn. Let's do that with responsibility and in coordination with our organization. So my dear sisters who today start this program, to the dear sisters that are accompanying us as academic advisors, Fimi Stoim, and to Joy, I want to greet her, welcome her, and thank her for having made a terrific effort to get the program going. And I also greet the energy from my coworker, Cecilia Ramirez, who is not going to be 100% at this 10th Global School gathering because she is on maternity leave. But I invite you to be very active with reciprocity, always in communication with Joy and your academic advisors from your regions and with Fimi's team. Thank you so much. I hope that life's energy accompanies us in this 10th edition of the school. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Teresa, for that warm welcome to us and to the the cohort for this 10th edition. We're going to take this opportunity to give the other colleagues from FIMI to be able to introduce themselves as well, so that we can know who they are. Some of them are here with us on the call, and you'll be seeing them. They'll be joining some of the sessions throughout this this period. And so I think I'll just call your name so that we can go faster. So maybe we'll start with Nella.
Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome again. My name is Maria Manuela Sequeira. I'm from Nicaragua and I am program coordinator at FIMI.
Thank you, Nala. I think I saw Margarita. I don't know if she's still here. Margarita? Okay, so before if she comes back, then she'll introduce herself. Maybe you can move to Isa. Isa Flota.
Thank you very much. Muchísimas gracias. Bienvenidas, hermanas.
Thank you so much. Welcome, sisters. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Isabel Flota, Maya Peninsula from Mexico. It's a pleasure to be part of this program. And in FIMI, I work with institutional communications. I have the pleasure to be able to share with Javier, with my friend here, Javier, who's going to be supporting us at this program, supporting us with everything we may need in terms of communication via internet.
Okay, thank you, Isa. Since you've mentioned Javier, can you please introduce yourself?
Javier, ¿se puede presentar?
Did he leave?
¿Qué tal? Buenos días. Soy Javier Jiménez.
Hello, good morning. My name is Javier Jiménez from Mexico. I'm going to be here supporting you with anything that you may need. I am part of Isabel's team in communications. It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Javier. Sushila, I can see your name.
Hello, everyone. Welcome on board to this 10th edition of GLS. I'm Sushila Thapa Magar, all the way from Nepal. I see some of the sisters from Asia and the Pacific, so I share the same time zone with them. Very happy to be here and welcome you all in this 10th edition. I am with FIMI as a INE Fund MEL coordinator. Thank you all. Have a good time.
Thank you, Sushila. And I think Rabiatu is also here. Yes,
hello,
Rabiatu.
everyone. Greetings. It's my pleasure to join you people here. My name is Rabiatu. I am from Cameroon and I am the new program coordinator for political participation and advocacy at FIMI. I just joined recently. So I'm happy to see you guys and I will be joining you as well from time to time to learn with you as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabiatu, and welcome again to FIMI. I don't know if there's someone else I've left out from the FIMI team that I have not seen. No?
No, we need more.
All right. Thank you, Teresa. So we'll move then to our other academic advisors who've not introduced themselves. So we'll start with Hortensia.
She speaks in her native language. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. It's a pleasure and a gift from life to be able to start this 10th Global Leadership School, Indigenous Women Global Leadership School. It's a place where we exchange into experiences. My name is Hortensia Simon, Maya Cachiquel, also in the linguistic community Cachiquel here in Guatemala. It's going to be a pleasure to be sharing with you and with our Latin American participants. And I hope that the communication will flow really well among ourselves. And I hope we enjoy this space as well. Let's not see it just as work, but also a space to exchange ideas and experiences. Thank you.
Thank you, Ortiz. I think Margarita has joined us. So Margarita, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hola, hermanas.
Hello, sisters. My name is Margarita Antonio. I coordinate one of the funds in FEMI. I'm sorry I had to leave briefly because we also have another meeting with our sisters from Latin America. So I'm at your service and committed to accompanying this global school. Thank you.
Thank you, Margarita. And Joy has put so much work into this particular cohort of the global school. Please go ahead and enjoy and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Winnie. I just want to check, am I audible? Network is a little bit slow today, but welcome, dear sisters. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from my side of the world. I am currently in India, in the northeastern part of India, and I am really, really happy to see all of you, all of your faces. We've been communicating over emails in the last few months. So thank you so much. I want to say for your constant communication, for your confirmation to participate in this program. It's really an honor for all of us to have such strong Indigenous women who have vast experiences in all your field to be with us and to come in one platform. So my name is Joy Pathao. I am a Khasi Indigenous woman and I am from India. And currently I am assisting Cecilia Ramirez, who is the coordinator of the Global School, but she is currently on maternity leave. So I am assisting her for the 10th edition, but I will also be accompanying the sisters from Asia, working with you as an academic advisor, supporting you in your advocacy plans, supporting you throughout the sessions. But I am here for everyone else as well. So we will continue communicating and welcome, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Joy. So again, my name is Winnie Kode. I'm Nuba from Sudan. I currently live in Nairobi, Kenya. And I'll be assisting with the Africa academic advisor, but also be working with everyone else in this journey. And we look forward to the coming weeks and months of this school. It's always an exciting process, and it's also a process of learning, not just about the processes that you're going to be learning about, but also learning about each other, our communities, the work that we're doing in our own communities, and many times picking up good practices from each other and strengthening each other in this journey that we are on, not just at the school, but also in our own communities and in the work that we're doing. And so thank you again, everyone, for coming. And for the next session, I will invite Hortensia to take over for the next session.
Gracias, Winnie. La verdad es
just
que siempre al inicio de cada proceso.
Thank you, Winnie. At the beginning of every process, we see the list of participants, but we kind of sort of imagine how this person could be, her face or his face. And we always at her face, and sometimes we say, may I be connected? Perhaps I'm connected to this person somehow already, but we don't really know who she is. So this is the opportunity to introduce ourselves. And Femi, we have always tried to get to know each other. Not just, I'm Hortensia, I'm from Comalapa. No. We, as the International Indigenous Women's Forum, are always invited to reaffirm our identity as Indigenous women. And that is why every time we introduce ourselves, we invite you to do it with a lot of creativity, right? And not just say, today I'm going to travel to New York and I'm going to see what I would take with me. We start searching or searching, but we don't always bring our identity with us. So each moment is an opportunity to reaffirm our identity. So let me introduce myself, and I'm going to, again, but I'm going to do it in the way that I would like you to remember me, so that you can say, ah, the woman who had this or that or the other. So this is a way to introduce ourselves, and we're going to invite you to be ready with your items so that we can identify each other. As I was saying a moment ago, my name is Hortensia Marina Simachali Mayacachiquel de San Juan Comalapa. And I've brought with me an element that I don't know if you can see. Here we call this the huipil. A huipil is that it is weaved by Mayan women. Why do I always carry this huipil? Because it is for sure an item that identifies us. When we see this red strap, we say, oh, she's from a particular region. So now they may be able to weave it with industrial machinery and all, but for us, what women weave with their own hands is very, very valuable, way beyond the material value of the item. So with this huipil, which is a very strong identity item, I want to share that we will be sharing with you at this 10th edition of the school those cultural values. So welcome. Y ahora allow the time for the rest of us to introduce ourselves. So let's hear now from the participants so that we can know who is each one of us. As Winnie said, sometimes democratically, we want to say who wants to go next, but this time we're going to do it by the list that I have, because it's in the interest of time. So I'm going to now give time. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce the names right, so I apologize if I don't, but we're going to learn. Anima Devan. Who is Anima? Anima de Varma. Can she please introduce herself? Okay, we don't hear Anima de Varma because, okay, now we do. Try again, please.
Okay, Kulumka. So, because we have been informed that we need to present ourselves in an interesting way. So I have actually wore my traditional clothes. Can you see? Okay, I'm going to show it. So this is how we dress up in the state of Tripura. I belong to the indigenous community of Tripura, and Tripura is located in Northeast India. And I belong to the Tripuri community. My title is Debarma, which is also one of the second largest community here in Tripura. Can I share a PPT? I have made a very small basic PPT. Hello? So please let me know if you can see my PPT. I'm going to share the screen. Uh, I hope it's visible. I'm sorry, but I don't get response. So at least one
Yes,
person have to tell me yes, no.
we can see the screen, Anima.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm going to, give a very basic touch about my state, my identity, the community that I belong to, a little bit about the place where I'm located so that we are able to understand where we come from. So Tripura, as I mentioned, it is one of the state in Northeast India. And so this is the map, how it looks like. This is India, and the next to it, I have just given, this is the small part of Tripura. I don't know if my, arrow can be seen. This small part is Tripura. I don't know if, so this is how it looks like. It has got like 8 districts, and we share three portion, like our state, we share 3 portion. One is the international border, Bangladesh. Then we also share the portion with Assam is another northeastern state, and we also share a little portion with Mizoram. So these are the borders that we share in India, and international border we share with the country called Bangladesh. And according to the latest census, which was actually done long time back in 2011, the population of our state is around 36 lakhs. Okay, and out of which, if we say now, the indigenous community, that is the community that I belong to, we are only around 28%. That is a very old record, but probably if we get to know the population, the real population now of the indigenous community, it will be probably around 20 or something around that, 20%. So you must be having question in your mind. So who are the rest of the population, like the 80%? If we are just around 20%, who are the 80%, right? So I'll come to that.
Perdón, disculpe.
Sorry.
Hermana, vamos
Sister, I apologize, but we are not going to have time. We will have time to talk about our countries and communities later on. So I'm sorry that we interrupt. So we're going to ask for the name, country, language, and the community that you represent. And I'm sorry for I apologize for the interruption. It's just that we don't have enough time today, and there will be time for presentations like this one later on.
Right, right. So I'll wrap up this first. So as I mentioned, that we are just 20% of the population in our own state, and the main agriculture is the main food or the main thing that we do, the indigenous community. We have other cultivations as well, but agriculture is the main resource where we do the earnings from. So we speak Kokborok, the language that we speak. Main language is Kokborok, and I go to next. The religion that we follow is Hinduism majorly, but we also have other religion, which is Christianity, Muslim, and Buddhism. The dance that we do in our state is called, Hojagiri dance, majorly amongst the tribal community, and Lebangumani. And then we also celebrate Christmas, Eid, Durga Puja, and Gorya Puja is the main thing for our, our indigenous community. And this is one of our, main food, which is wrapped. Luckily, today we just made at home. So, I have this also, which is wrapped in a leaf which is called lairu, and we have the sticky rice, which we actually steam. And this is one of the main food of Tripura indigenous community. This is a picture of the Gorya Puja that we celebrate, the Hinduism majorly. And then this is the dress that I am wearing. So this is something which we represent. And thank you so much for giving me this time. I think that is it for now. So if we are given more time, then I think I can give more information. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Gracias, hermana.
Thank you, sister. So please, I just would like to remind you to share the most relevant at this time, our name, Indigenous people, the organization that supports us in this process, and also something that you would like to share in about a minute or so, in order for everyone to have the same opportunity to introduce themselves. Now I'm going to ask Bridani Pereira. Welcome, Bridani.
Buenos días, hermanas. No sé si me
Good
logran
morning, sisters. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, welcome and good morning, everyone. My name is Bridani Pereira. I am from Peru, from the department of Puna in the province of Collao, from the district of Elave. So in the deep area of Peru. One moment. So today, just wanted to share that we are from a union of indigenous youth, Aymara indigenous youth. We speak Aymara, and the main languages, native languages are Aymara and Quechua, and then Ashaninga, Chanishan, which are in the northern part of Peru. Today, I wanted to show you something. I don't know if you can see it. This is a belt that is weaved by my people. It's part of the clothing that we wear in specific festivities or special days to when we organize something, when there's some ceremony to give thanks to Mother Earth. So we have this piece of cloth that identifies us. And that is all for now. Thank you, Bridani. So that's how we're going to know each other. Now, Doris Esteban, please.
Doris Esteban.
Doris Esteban? Are you here, Doris?
Yes, I'm here. Hello. Hello, everyone. I am Doris Esteban. I am from the Philippines. I work with Tabtaba. Currently, I am the Upakat focal point. Upakat is a network of indigenous people's organizations, indigenous people structures and networks here in the Philippines. So it is a network that is aiming to strengthen national advocacy for indigenous peoples here. And then aside from that, I am also part of the communications team. So mainly I do editing work and also do stories, popularize them online. So I am an Ibaloy. It's an indigenous group in the Cordilleras in the northern part of the Philippines. And then collectively, indigenous peoples here in the north are called Igorot. So I am an Igorot, and then I was not able to get something really big from my culture because I am currently we are here in Thailand now for an activity, for an event. So what I got was my earrings. So it's here. The color is black, red, and white. It is the color of our tapis or our wrap-around skirt as ibaloys. So the red is a symbol of bravery and independence. And then the black and white is symbolizes our reverence for our ancestors. And also it also actually it also shows the social status previously in the olden times. So if your wraparound skirt is more colorful, it means that you are from a higher class. But nowadays we use it is more this color. So red, black, and white. So I chose this as a symbol from my culture because, well, we as indigenous women have to show that bravery and independence. So it's because for me personally, I joined this, I was able to like be encouraged to apply for this school, for this for the classes, because I want to rediscover my voice and also help women discover theirs. So that's it. Thank you for having me here.
Gracias, bienvenida.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
We are going to help each other to find our voices. So I'm reading someone's name, Herma Rotuno from Kenya. Is she here? Herma Rotuno? Well, we're not sure exactly how to say the names, but we're going to read them the best we can. And why don't we introduce ourselves with the correct pronunciation of our name when we come on? Let's turn the floor over to Irene now. Irene Naijeye. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. Irene, go ahead.
Thank you very much. My name is Irene Naijeye. I'm from the Maasai community. My indigenous language is Maasai. I come from Nairobi, Kenya. I'm really happy to be here. And today I have this that is always worn by people of my culture, especially women. As you can see, we have like 4 colors, 4 or 5. We have orange, black, white, and red. White does represent peace. The green is the grass and the food for our people. The black one represents the people and the struggle they must undergo. And the red, of course, which is our favorite color, stands for being brave and unity. And we mostly wear red clothes because red is our color. Red is what that, as you see this, we have a lot of red. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I will appreciate the learning, and yeah, thank you.
Gracias, Irene. Bienvenida.
Thank you, Irene. Welcome. Now we're going to turn the floor over to our friend Joneri. Joneri Beca, please go ahead. Good morning, everyone. My name is Joneri Carranza. I'm from Nicaragua. I'm part of the Northern Caribbean Coast region, which is autonomous, and I represent the Miskito ethnicity. It's an honor to be here with you and to learn different things with you and to learn about all the different indigenous groups in the American continent and all over the world. One of the things that we use in our culture is this thing that's called a jícaro. When it's dry, it's a dry gourd, and you can use it for different things. You can adorn it and make decorations for the houses. Our ancestors also used it as a plate or a bowl or a cup to drink from. This is something that we identify with a lot as Indigenous people. Thank you very much.
Bienvenida.
Thank you, Joneri, and welcome. Now we're going to hear from Maria Lelitoya from Kenya. Maria Lelitoya, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everyone. My name is Maria Letitoya from northern part of Kenya. I belong to the Samburu community, and I work with the African Indigenous Women Organization as a program coordinator. Our goal is to enhance and build capacity of Indigenous peoples in Africa through participation, social, economic and political empowerment, as well as promotion of their rights. And I'm very happy to meet all of you, and I'm excited to be part of the program. And with me, I have a gourd, traditional gourd, Samburu traditional gourd. We use it to store milk, both fresh and fermented. And it's also used during ceremonies, like wedding ceremonies, to store milk. And also I have a traditional necklace we wear during ceremonies. It is also made by the girls. Yeah, we wear we wear during ceremonies, and also it's for beauty. It's also similar, like for the Maasai. It's almost similar. Yeah, thank you.
Gracias, María.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you for sharing part of your culture with us. And now we're going to give the floor over to Medalit Rivera. Welcome, Medalit. Yes, hello, can you hear me? Good morning, sisters. Good afternoon and good evening to those who are in different time zones. I'm going to begin by introducing myself personally. My name is Medalit Rivera. I come from the Collao province in the Ilave district in the department of Puno, which is part of the country of Peru. I am representing the Union of Aymara Indigenous Youth, which is Huaynahuile. We in Aymara, that means young blood. And I'm also representing ICME of the International Continental Liaison from Latin America. What I want to show you today is the traditional clothing that we wear. It represents the lake area because we live around the edge of the Lake Titicaca. Puno is known for having a number of different cultures. And in the district of Ilave, we have 3 districts, the Lake District, the Medium District, and the Highlands District. I come from the Lake District, and so this is the traditional clothing from our lake area. And you can see here something that represents agriculture and ranching in our area. The colors each have a meaning as well. And I also want to show you this. It's called an aguayo, or an encuña, sometimes we call it. What you use it for is to lay it out beneath the various foods that we're sharing. So it's sort of like a tablecloth, and this is woven by the people here who are engaged in traditional artisan work. And it's something that represents my zone, which is Ilave in the lake area. So I just want to close by thanking you for this opportunity that you're offering us through this school. I think this will help all of us to strengthen ourselves as Indigenous women. Thank you very much. Thank you, Medalit, and welcome. Now, we see that our sister Herma Rotuno is here. So go ahead. The floor is yours. I don't know if I pronounced it right, Herma.
Hello. Hi.
Yes, la escuchamos.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello. Are you getting me?
Yes, we can hear you. Perfect.
Sí, la vemos muy bien.
I'm Herma Rotuno from Kenya. I'm also from West Pokot County in a small village called Naramam Women Group. I'm grateful to work with them. I'm also a nutritionist by profession. I'm wearing this as I was simple or decoration from the West Pokot people, which is used in celebration of the girls, boys during the ceremony. I'm glad joining the global school. Thank you very much.
Gracias, hermana Germa.
Thank you, Sister Herma. Now, I think I heard you say it's pronounced Herma. Now, we're going to hear from Nicole Gonzalez. And we're going to meet Nicole Gonzalez. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Nicole Gonzalez. I'm Navajo from the United States and New Mexico. So there's 500 federally recognized tribes here. I'm a nurse midwife, and I founded this organization called Changing Woman Initiative to return traditional birthing practices to our communities and to empower Indigenous women. It's really lovely to meet everybody. It's really early, so I still haven't gotten out of my pajamas. But really nice to meet everybody.
Gracias, Nicole. ¿Y algún elemento?
Thank you, Nicole. Would you like to share something about your culture, an element of your culture, something that's visual, or do you want to wait for another moment? Okay.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Bueno, vamos a dejarle el tiempo.
All right, then. We will turn the floor over to Pema. Pema Wanson. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Pema Wangmo Lama from Nepal.
Bueno,
While we are finding her, let's go ahead and give the floor over to Regina from Indonesia. Regina Juditi Tasari.
Hello, good evening, everyone, or good morning, good afternoon. Can you hear me? Okay. So my name is Regina Yudi Tita Sari. That's how, like, Indonesian last name is very long, so I know if you cannot pronounce it correct, but it's fine. So I am from Indonesia. I represent the Dayak Indigenous people from Borneo, West Kalimantan, the west part of Indonesia. I work with the Institute Dayakology and the Credit Union. We work on a holistic empowerment for economic and sovereignty, and also a recognition, legal formal recognition for the Indigenous peoples here in West Kalimantan. So I am wearing the shirt. It's patterns of my people. So it's the color black. It represents the earth, and green is represent forest, and yellow represent the sun, and white represent the water. And then I also have this one. It's red, so it's represent the bravery. So together, it's make us like represent the lives of the indigenous peoples here. And also, if you can see, the pattern is continue. So it's represent the sustainability and continuing, and also the togetherness of our people. So, and also we have this. I recently working with the women in the village. They are making it from the rattan. So they usually use it every day for the basket, for the vegetables, and also some other things. They can also carry it on special occasions. So it's the pattern is always never ending. So it's, as I said before, it represents the togetherness and sustainability. Thank you so much.
Gracias, Regina. Bienvenida.
Thank you and welcome, Regina. We're so glad to learn something about your culture. Now we see that our sister Pema Wangmo is here, and we want to turn the floor over to her.
Am I audible? Hello, Tashitele. Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. Tashitele, Chak, and Indigenous greetings to all. I'm Pema Wangmo Lama, belonging to the Indigenous community called Mugung from Nepal, Himalayas of Nepal. So I currently represent National Indigenous Disabled Women Association Nepal, shortly known as NIDWAN, which works for the protection and promotion for the rights of Indigenous women with disabilities. And I'm currently engaged in the organization as Communication, Documentation, and Learning Officer. So today I would like to introduce myself and my community through a part of our traditional dress, which is this. It is called karaf in our Mugam indigenous language, and it is the part of our dress that holds. It's similar to a belt that holds the two part of our traditional dress. So this is commonly worn both by Indigenous women and Indigenous men within our community. So this is made by our Indigenous women. From scratch, they weave it together, and it is very long. It's actually very long. So for me, what this represents is because it is worn by both male and female, it also represents equality between the between the multiple genders within our Indigenous community. And in our community, this single kara is worn for all our life. We just wear this single kara in our lifetime, and we transfer it to our generation. So it also represents the unity between various generations and the intergenerational transfer of our knowledge and of our property. So for me, this is a very important part of our cultural dress, which symbolizes the traditional skills of our Indigenous women, as well as the transfer of our knowledge and of the transfer of our history between the two generations. So thank you. I'm very looking forward to learning a lot from everyone who is here and from all our resource person and I'm looking forward to getting more knowledge and to know about more indigenous communities throughout the world. Thank you very much.
Gracias. Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you, Pema, for sharing about the transfer of knowledge. Now we're going to hear from our sister Ravia. Please go ahead and introduce yourself to this group.
I'm sorry, I am not part of the participants. I already introduced myself.
Gracias.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about that. Now we're going to hear from Richa Pradham from Nepal. Sister Richa, are you here?
Yes. Thank you. I'm Richa Pradhan from Nepal, and I belong to Newar Indigenous community. And talking about my engagement, I'm engaged with a network of Indigenous women in Asia and also Asia Indigenous Peoples Pact. And today, to tell you something about my community, I have brought a kind of like food, which is, this is chaku. This is called chaku in Newari. And it is a jaggery taffy, which is used in many delicacies of Newar community, and it beholds a great significance to Newar community, as we use a special delicacy called yamari during rice harvest worship festival, which is a symbol of wealth and prosperity in our culture. And also it is used in making chaku wasa, which is a kind of food that is given to pregnant, new mothers to bind her mother and bind her body and make her very strong. And also it is taken with rice and ghee, which is believed that it protects our body during winter. So it beholds a great value to our culture. And talking about my community, Newars are mostly the historic inhabitants of Kathmandu and surrounding areas in Nepal. And as you know that Nepal is like, we have diverse group of indigenous people, as we have about 63 indigenous peoples group. And I'm very much glad to be part of this 10th Global Leadership School, and I look forward to learn from all our indigenous sisters from different parts of the world. Thank you.
Gracias, Richa. Gracias.
Thank you, Richa. And thank you for reminding us that our foods in our indigenous peoples are very important and have kept us alive all these years. Let's listen now to Yesing Upum from Guatemala. Time is yours. Go ahead, Yesing. Good morning to all of you. My name is Yesing Upun. I'm going to show you a very short presentation here to show you part of my identity as a Maya Cachiquel woman. My name is Yesing Juliana Upun Jos. I am Maya Cachiquel from the country of Guatemala. I live in this part of the map of Guatemala, as you can see, surrounded by the blue circle here. And you can see that it is where my territory is located. This is part of the traditional clothing that we use. It's very colorful, as you can see. There's a red background in my community, and it's exactly what I'm wearing right now. And it's related a great deal to nature, to the Mayan calendar. Each one of the pieces is related to nature. For example, in our language, we talk about chakche, which is the leaves of a tree. And we also have here represented flowers and animals. There's a huge number of designs that we use on our clothing, but it shows our intrinsic connection with nature. It's very important that as little girls, we continue to have this opportunity to wear our traditional clothing. And our grandmothers have a very important role in transmitting cultural knowledge to us. My language is also Cachiquel, it's a Mayan language, and I can show you here that good morning to everyone is written like this in our language. We have our own way of writing also. My organization is the Network of Indigenous Women working on biodiversity, and I'm coordinating our activities here in Guatemala. So thank you very much. And I'm sure that later on we'll be able to share more about our Indigenous peoples with each other. And I'm very happy to be part of this process. Thank you. Thank you, Yesing. Yeshing. I'm learning to pronounce your name as well. Welcome. And thank you for sharing your information. Now we're going to turn the floor over to our colleague Suchila Umari. Suchila Kumari, go ahead. Sushila Kumari. Sorry, Sushila is part of the team, yes, and she's already introduced herself. Sorry about that. So in that case, our last participant will be Siobhan McManus from Guam.
Hello. Hello, everyone. So my name is Siobhan. Let me know if you can hear me. It's okay? Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Siobhan. I'm from the Pacific island of Guam, or in my indigenous language, it's called Guahan. I am an indigenous Chamorro woman, and in our island, we speak the language Chamorro. I'm so honored to be here among such incredible women who are doing such important work for all of our people across the world. I'm wearing blue to represent the blue continent, or the Pacific Ocean. I always feel so amazed by the vast lands that you all come from. My island is very, very, very small. It's probably as small as some of your villages, but I am still so grateful to be connected, not just by land, but by our big ocean and the water that connects all of us to each other. Today, I would like to introduce myself and my people and my homeland using a very simple basket that holds a braided piece of my hair. In Guahan, we have a very important story, or a legend, about the women who saved our island from a giant fish. One day, our ancestors woke up to a huge earthquake, and when they went to see what was the cause, there was a giant fish that was eating through the center of the island. The men, they gathered and they tried to defeat the fish by hunting, and they couldn't do it. They failed. So in the story, our women, they gathered and they form a council, and they found the place where the fish was hiding beneath our island. And to save us, they cut off all of their hair. All of the people across our island, they cut off all of the women. They cut off their hair and they braided a giant net, and they found the home of the giant fish, and they covered the entrance and caught the giant fish and saved our people. I tell this story because it is one of the only legends we have where none of the heroes have names. It's a story about community, and in Guam, our indigenous women have always led our islands through very hard times. They have always held our center, and they have always guided us forward when we thought we as a people would not survive. So when I look at all of you here today, I think of how blessed I am to be able to belong to this wider community of Indigenous women who are woven together, maybe not with our hair, but with our work. And for me, when I think of my island and my people and the big challenges we face, the big giant fish of challenges, when I look at all of you, I feel less afraid. And I feel like we as a community can face our challenges and have hope that we can have a way forward. So I'm really thankful of all of the stories that weave us together, of all of our traditions, and I am very grateful to belong to this community of Indigenous women. So thank you so much for letting me be part of you.
Gracias, Siobhan. Bienvenida. Y vamos a seguir.
Thank you, Siobhan. Welcome. We're going to keep looking for big fish. Let's see at the end of this process. According to my list, we have concluded the introductions. If we've left anyone out, please do let us know, or can you please introduce yourself right now? I also wanted to let you know that we missed 2 participants from Mexico who confirmed their participation, but once they join us, we'll have a space to introduce themselves too. So it's been a pleasure for me to have led this this segment, where you've all introduced yourselves. It's a pleasure to meet you, and I value everyone's contribution and the contributions by our leaders from FIMI. Thank you. We will continue in this space.
Thank you so much, Oten, for that session. Maybe just before we move to the next session, I want to also share something from my community. So this is, it's a calabash, we call it a calabash or a cas. It's from my home. So this is, it's actually a plant. Then when it's dried, you cut it and you dry it, and then it's used for everything. It's a plate, it's a cup, it's decoration. You can see this one has drawings on it. So the drawings, many times what they'll do is that the drawings always tell a story. So if you can see this one, it has like the animal, it has the houses. So they usually will do drawings that tell a story on the calabash, and it's also a way for us to pass stories to other, to the next generation, or tell stories in form of pictures. Yeah, and then why it's also important for us is that, especially where I'm from, there's a place where when you're going to get water from so the water comes from inside the mountain, and when you're going to collect this water, you can't use anything metallic. If you do, the mountain takes back the water, and so you can only use this to get the water from that specific place. So that's why it's also very important for us, because the spirits of the mountain only recognize this as a vessel to collect water from the mountain. Yeah, so thank you everyone for sharing part of your cultures and your work with us, and we look forward to learning more and more about you and the work that you're doing and the things that you're doing in your community as we go along. I'm also very happy to see very many familiar faces. Juliana, it's very nice to see you after a very long time. This is what happens when you see names, and then when you see a face, you recognize there's a happiness that comes to your heart every time you see someone that you know. And so for the next session, for the next few minutes, we're going to go briefly through some of the community rules that we want to have. And some of this we will keep adding as we go along. And if there's something that you think about that you feel should also be some of our community guidelines, please put it on the chat. And then because this is, again, it's a learning environment, and we encourage you to also speak up, speak your mind, tell us what you're thinking about, or what you think we should do, or what you think should be, especially part of the community rules that we're going to be having during the next few months that we have together. And so to begin with, I'm going to start with the time. We will have our classes or our sessions at different times every day. So for every week, we'll have 3 days a week. And in these 3 days, it will be different times. This is so that we can accommodate the different time zones that we have, because now there's someone from the US, there's someone from Guam, we have sisters in Asia, we have sisters in Africa, from Latin America, and we all come from different time zones. And so we request that you're very accommodative of this. So sometimes it will be very early morning for you, or it will be in the afternoon for you, or it will be late in the evening for you. And so this is going to happen in rotation, where everyone is going to either be up late or up early, or just during the day. And so again, we just request that you're very accommodative of this. Please make sure that you're looking at your calendar at all times, so that you know what time the sessions start and you're able to join before the session start. So 10, 15 minutes before the session starts, so that we can start on time, especially because we will be having guests who are going to be coming to speak to us. And so just to honor their time and honor your time as well. We ask that you come early, so that we're able to start at exactly the time that we have mentioned that we're going to start. The timetable that with all the sessions is available to you, so please make use of that. If there's something that is unclear, please write to us and let us know, and then we'll be able to assist you, or to clarify any issues that are not clear for you on the timetable. Another thing is that during our sessions, please make sure that you mute yourself, because again, we recognize that some of us are probably taking the call in our homes, where there are other people at home, or maybe at work, but there's also other colleagues, or in different places where we're picking up the call. So sometimes there's some background noise that may cause disruption for not just the person who's speaking, but also the other people listening. So please make sure that you're on mute at all times. And unless you're now being asked to speak, or you want to make a comment or a contribution to the discussion that's happening, that's when you can unmute yourself. Earlier on, when we started, Teresa mentioned respect. And we're going to repeat this again, that we should have mutual respect for each other during the sessions, to allow each other to be able to express our thoughts and our experiences without feeling any form of judgment, or any negative feelings, because this is a safe space for all of us to come and share our journeys, our thoughts, what we imagine is going to happen in the future. So all those things, this is a safe space for everyone. And so we ask that you please respect everyone's opinion, because it is their opinion, and so that you can also have yours respected when you're giving your opinion, or when you're giving your experiences. We also encourage you to please participate during the sessions. Ask questions, ask all the questions you want to ask to the experts that are going to come to speak with you during the sessions. Some of them have very different styles of presentation, and so please, we ask that you're active and that you engage them in whatever form of presentation that they propose during the beginning of their sessions. So if it's a conversation, please contribute to the conversation. If there's questions being asked, please answer those questions, because this is also part of the learning. And then in as much as we're asking you to participate, we're also asking that you please give other people space as well. And so if during the session there's only 2 minutes for someone to present or to share something, or 5 minutes, please make sure that you're keeping to that time of presentation, so that you're also giving your other colleagues time to also participate or speak when during the sessions, because sometimes if I speak for 10 minutes, and that means that I've taken some time for someone else who would have also wanted to participate or to comment on the session that's happening. So let's be very conscious of how we, when we're talking during the session, so that we're also giving other people space to contribute. Another thing is that we expect that you will be joining all the sessions during this school. If something comes up, please let your advisor know, let Joy know as well, if something comes up and you're not able to join the session, because we require that you attend at least 85 to 90%, 85 to 100% of the classes, so that at the end of the day, you're able to get your certificate of participation from the global school. So those are some of the community rules that we have for now. If Orte or Joy, if there's anything that you want to add, please go ahead and add it in terms of our community rules and guidelines.
Gracias, Winnie. Yo solamente agregaría.
Thank you, Winnie. I would just add to reiterate reading emails and information that we're going to send you, because to be sure that we have had the information, that we received the information. That's number one. Number two, I understand that for Friday, our inauguration, you have to register for our safety. So that's all.
Thank you, Winnie. I would just like to add a point here. Columbia University will be sharing some readings and as well as other experts from the UN. So anytime there's a reading that comes for the participants, we will be uploading in a drive. So I request you to have a look at the readings if you have to prepare anything before coming for the sessions, because sometimes the experts would like to discuss a certain topic and they would like a lot of interaction from the participants. So in that case, we will be sending reminders to you through email, through WhatsApp, requesting you to, giving you alerts that these readings have been uploaded. Thank you, Winnie.
Thank you so much, Joy. And with that, I'll hand it back to Joy for the next session. Thank you.
Thank you, Winnie. So now we will just go through the program calendar that we had earlier shared with all of you. As instructed in the email, we shared this calendar through a Google Drive, because as we go along through the sessions, we may have a little bit of and when I say minor changes, I don't mean in terms of dates and timings, but just in terms of experts, because sometimes an expert may not be available anymore for a particular session. So they would recommend a different expert to join us. So in that sense, we will be having these kind of minor changes. So I request you to please also regularly look at the global school calendar in the Google Drive that had earlier been shared. I think all of you must have gone through the calendar before the session, but I would just like to go through it again. So we will have a total of 29 sessions beginning from the 20th of February till the 5th of May. Currently, we are in our introduction week. So the 13th of February, the 15th of February, and the 17th of February is still an introduction week for all of us. So today is an internal meeting between all of us on the 15th of February. This is going to be an introduction to the advocacy plans. Some of you have submitted, in fact, all of you have submitted your advocacy plans during the presentation, during your application, but we would just like to tune it a little further and rework on it, or just clarify any doubts that you may have, because this could be the first time for some of us to develop an advocacy plan. So in that sense, on 15th of February 2023, at 8 p.m. Guatemala time, we will be having the introductory to the formulation of advocacy plans. So on the 17th of February is our official opening. You're all aware that the Global Leadership School is a school that is in close coordination with the Institute of Human Rights, the Indigenous Peoples Program of the Institute of Human Rights, Columbia University. So we have Professor Elsa, who is heading this program and who's the key person for us to contact with Columbia University. But there will also be other experts from Columbia University who will be joining us. So our opening day with Columbia University, the official opening day for the school, will take place on the 17th of February, this coming Friday. Moving along, the Columbia University sessions will happen on every Friday. This is because most times the professors in Columbia University, the experts will be joining us. Friday is the date that they have identified, and they are available for the school. So every Friday will be a session with Columbia University. You will see the different sessions in all the modules that we've shared in the Google Drive. The school has been divided into 5 modules. So in module 1, we will be talking about individual and collective rights of Indigenous women. We will have different experts coming in for that. For our first session on 20th February, we'll have our expert, Maria, will be joining us. And then we'll also have Sandra Prima. We'll also have Mariana Lopez, Professor Yasmin, and Professor Barkan from Columbia University. If you look at the calendar, you will see that our sessions are divided into 3 days per week. So there are classes on Mondays, on Wednesdays, and on Fridays, Guatemala time. So please keep in mind that all our sessions are developed, all our meetings are developed on Guatemala time. So this may be a little bit of, we have to pay a little bit of attention to the timings, because a Wednesday session at 8 p.m. Guatemala time would be a Thursday for Asia and also for the Pacific. So please kindly just be sure of your timings. And if you have any doubts, we're always here, I'm always here. You can always text us anytime on WhatsApp. And in the first 2 weeks, our academic advisors will send alerts, because we may still be confused with the dates and the times. So we will remind you of the sessions a day before. But after that, we will make it a practice that you check the timings on your own. So module 2, we will have the global mechanisms and processes of Indigenous women and advocacy. Module 3 will be mostly on the principles and techniques and any kind of lessons learned for the advocacy of Indigenous women. In this particular module, we will have a lot of experts coming in from the field who are active members and active advocates in their own communities. So we will have Joji Carino from Asia, then we will have Dr. Amalia from Latin America. We will also have Tapio and also Pratima from Nepal. Module 4 is a module that is completely dedicated to Columbia University, as well as a preparation for the UN, which will take place from the 17th to the 28th of April. So this particular module will prepare us for the permanent forum. Although we will not be participating in the permanent forum physically this time, but we will be actively participating through the UN Web TV, and also we can attend some of the sessions. We can also come back and discuss our experiences based on that. But right now, the permanent forum has not really issued guidelines on how the forum will take place this year, but we will definitely update you on more information as we go, as and when the UN updates. So, but we will definitely be preparing ourselves for statements, and we will also be preparing ourselves. We'll have the special rapporteur coming for our sessions to talk to us. We will have a member of the permanent forum who will help us on who will come and orient us on the different types of advocacy strategies that we can do with country representatives and UN bodies and other UN bodies. So that is module 5. That is module 4. Module 5. In module 5, we will have Ms. Victoria Vicky Towley from TEPTEBA. She will be coming and she'll be speaking to us on the Agenda 2020 and how to implement it and how to track it. But in that particular module, we will also be presenting our advocacy plans. So if you look at your Google Calendar, you will see that the fifth module, which is the last module, will take place from the 1st of May to the 5th of May. So it may look like we have a lot of time to prepare our advocacy plans, but please, prepare them with your academic advisors from now. Of February, we will have the introduction to the advocacy plans, and on that day we will decide on the progress of the dates. When are you going to submit your first draft, your second draft, or if at all of your first draft is fine, it can just be your final advocacy plan. So let's prepare and let's not forget about the advocacy plans, but we will be presenting them on the 5th module, and we'll also be having experts from the field who will come and to guide us on the advocacy plans if they have any suggestions on how to improve it, and what other relevant activities that we may miss in our advocacy plans. So during this time, we will probably be having a previous global school participants who have really successfully implemented their advocacy plans in their own regions and in their own communities. So like I mentioned earlier, we will be having our sessions on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Guatemala time. But please check your timings for your countries. We will be sending alerts to you in the first 2 weeks. And after that, hopefully, we will be able to make this a practice on our own. And we will also, so the link for all our sessions is the same link that you used today to join in. The same link will be open throughout the entire session. And I'm so sorry that I forgot to mention this earlier, but I will be accompanying a sister from Pacific for any throughout the session, and we will be accompanying Sister Nicole from North America. So we will be adding you to our groups in WhatsApp, and we will be in constant communication. So before I hand over the session to Sister Orte, I would just like to say that in this particular week, we will meet again on the 15th of February for the advocacy and official opening date on the 17th of February with Columbia University. So, thank you so much, sisters, and we will take some questions in the next session. Thank you, Winnie.
Thank you, Joy. Hortensia, please go ahead with the next session.
Gracias, Winnie. Con toda la información que ya...
Thank you, Winnie. With all of the information that we have received, we hope that Wednesday, 5 minutes before the session time, I hope that we have all joined already so that we don't stress out. And as we've seen today, the point that Isabel Cipriano mentioned is very important. Here at FEMI, at all of the sessions, we start with words of balance, looking for harmony with all that surrounds us, and even when we're in front of the cameras, we also connect through our energy. For this reason, we also want to make sure that it's a space for exchange of spiritual practices and energetic practices or energy practices. The invitation is for everyone so that each one of you, the participants, can say that you're all going to share. So starting from Wednesday, we hope that one of you opens up with an invocation, with that practice of balance and harmony. It's a free activity. We're not going to name who is going to participate next. We're going to do this next. We're not going to name anyone. It has to come from your hearts, from the heart of each one of you. So we're going to ask for a volunteer for Wednesday, February 15th, please. And this is how we're going to work in terms of this invocation. Right now, we're just going to see who's going to be the next person on Wednesday. But after that, we will have a table also in the drive where you can write down your name on the date that you want to carry out that opening with that invocation, with that spiritual connection with all of us. It's an energy connection. So that's my invitation to all of you for the future days. But for now, who wants to do this on Wednesday? We have only 2 minutes left before we close this session. So I'm going to ask now that one of you volunteers for the invocation on Wednesday. Who will that be, please? Any of you? I know that we're starting. It's a space where we share, where we exchange with each other our experiences and information. Please, we need a volunteer for Wednesday.
Sister Orte, may I come in?
Sister Orte. So I think on Wednesday, we hope that we also write down our names. I think Joy volunteered, but we need to celebrate our energy. So for Wednesday, we have Joy. And for the next few days, we hope that you do join, write down your name so that we can all start with optimism, with this positive and with positivity and hope. Thank you. With this, we conclude today's session, our first session. Any other information that we need to share, Joy?
Yes. Sister Orte, I'm really sorry. So I would just like to mention that in the first week of our session, which is still Friday the 17th, we won't be making any invocation from the participants. I think it'll be the first time for most of the participants, and we need to kind of give them that space to also learn a little. So the invocation will be from our end on Wednesday, Thursday, and we will have the registrations for the invocation from the 20th onwards for the participants. And I think we have just about 10 minutes now for questions from any of the participants. If you have any questions regarding the schedule, the school, please go ahead. The space is open for you.
Gracias, Joy.
Thank you, Joy. We have the schedules ready, and so you will be able to see what the dynamic is for each section. I think Yes Xing has her hand up. Go ahead. Yes, thank you very much. I had a electricity problem, and I tried to get in again, but I didn't hear about what the schedule was on the 15th. I have turned in the document. I've looked over the documentation, and I understand that we have something on the 17th and after, but I'm not quite sure what's happening on the 15th. Could you share that schedule with us again for the 15th? Yes, for the 15th, here in Guatemala, we'll be starting at 8 at night. And this week, I will send you a reminder so that we can make sure that we're ready at the right time. On Fridays, we will begin at 7 in the morning, which corresponds with the time for Columbia University. Any other questions?
So the 15th of February, we will be discussing on our advocacy plans, how to formulate it, what is it, why do we need it, and how eventually we can be implementing it. So that is for the 15th of February, presentation on and orientation on the advocacy plans.
Gracias, Joy.
Thank you. Thank you, Joy. So with that clarification and all of this information, I believe we've reached the end of our first session. And I want to express gratitude for all the energies of the day. We are grateful for our ancestors for accompanying us today and allowing us to begin our school with all of this good energy and optimism. We will see you on Wednesday, and we wish you a good week, no matter where you are, and good success in all of your endeavors. It's such a pleasure to have met you. Good day, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, sisters. Thank you. See you.